Welcome back to Hellfortress Cathedral Midnight. The Enochian Terror Transmissions. My name is Val, and I'm really excited to present to you this episode. First, maybe 10 minutes of the episode have some audio issues. I'm very sorry about that, but they do get better. The audio clears up around 10 minutes in. I was working with the new recording software. Anyway, today we have Pauline, who used to go in the heyday of synthwave under the name Delilah Dahmer. We talk about her history of touring with bands like Ghost and Dance with the Dead. She tells us about a very harrowing and terrible tour with a just awful band, which will go unnamed, and sort of what to do when you find yourself stuck in a tour with fascists. We talk about the Synthzilla festival, which I played at the second one of, what went right, what went wrong, and we talk about Pauline's new career as a mortician. It's a very, very interesting conversation, and I sure hope you enjoy it.
How long were you working in the music industry for?
3 years. Without counting the festival thing, because with the Synthzilla, where you played, actually.
Yes.
I worked for 2 years on that, almost all by myself, but as a technician, merch manager or tour manager, I worked for 3 years.
Cool. And so was Synthzilla the start of all that?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. I had no idea. I actually, on my list, I have a little list of points. Synthzilla was actually the last thing I was going to talk about, but fucking...
It's okay.
No, but like, I had no idea of the timeline of your journey there. Like, what inspired you... What inspired you to kick off this whole thing? So was it start making Synthzilla happen that got you interested in touring and doing tour managing and stuff like that? Or was that something you were always interested in, more or less?
No, it actually made me discover how it is to deal with a musician, with a tech team, how it's working with all the writers and the sound checks and stuff. I never did that before, like never. I was a journalist, so I didn't have my hand at any time in something like that.
Oh, what were you working in journalism in? This chapter of your career is something I'm completely in the dark about. Were you doing music journalism?
Specialized in that was actually my whole school path was about journalism, and I specialized in video games. So I wrote like two, not thesis, but two big report about video games. Also for the university I was studying it.
Oh, what about what were they on? What games were they on, or what was the
first one was about the social impact of video games for young people, and the second one was kind of a study of the video game press in France.
Oh.
Like how it's working, how women are doing in that kind of environment, and what I was actually doing as a reporter in that. So yeah,
those are the kind
practical.
Those are the kind of topics that could get you a lot of hate if you put them online instead of putting them in an academic paper. That's for sure.
Oh, for both. Like the teacher who was helping me on that didn't like my subjects at all, and when I talked about it, I received a lot of hate because it was before all the Gamergate stuff, so that was not like common thing to have a woman talking about that like in a academic way, and in France, I mean. And that's kind of why I left this environment, and I went into the TV production for more general networks, like for history stuff, music stuff. So I had this background in production, organizing stuff and dealing with a lot of technician and stuff. And so that was actually the first step for me with the tour management, to have this experience.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Cool. Interesting. So you got pushback from writing about culture and video games from your actual lecturers.
Yeah.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
What was your take and what was your take back then on the effect of like young people in society on of video games, and has that changed?
That's a good question, because my take at that moment was to deconstruct all the ideas of video games makes you violent or can transform you into a serial killer or
Right.
stuff like that, So I kind of did like a study on teenagers, like with a lot of interviews and stuff like that, to know what they experienced actually while playing with others or on their own and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, no, actually video games are really cool, and that's not that who transform people into something bad. And I talked also about the media, how they were doing and dealing with the video games into the popular networks and stuff like that. But I was young at that time and really idealistic, and I don't know if I changed on that or not, or if I will read again this work, because I don't know if I like it or not.
Yeah.
But that's like for a long time ago, like 7 years ago, 8 years. Yeah, I was 22 at that time, so that was kind of a big deal to go into.
Yeah, it sounds like a big project, like interviewing people and stuff. So it seemed like your experience has always been gearing towards, putting shit together. Like you with those interviews, you have to organize them, you have to get the time down, and then you ended up moving into working in a technical aspect. So what really led you to the idea of doing this synthwave festival?
Oh, I was bored. At that time, I was super bored, and I had a bit of money for once, and I was like, I should do that. That's not going to be as complicated as I imagined. I was naive. I was really, really naive. But yeah, it was born from boredom, actually. And it took me a lot of time and energy, and I absolutely don't regret it at all, because it's still like the first European synthwave festival, and I'm like, I did that,
Really?
All by myself.
You got there first, huh? That's so interesting.
Yeah. That was actually the first time ever, that Carpenter Brut and Perturbator was playing on the same stage. I was like, I fucking did that. Yeah.
Wow. I wish I could have been there that year.
That was actually really great.
But
yeah, that's not something I will regret, even if it didn't end really well. Like I didn't continue the thing, or I didn't have the money. I lost a lot of money on that, but
that's how these things
fun
work.
because I took especially with the entertainment environment like that. It's kind of I don't have the word in
English.
It's
a fickle business.
A bet. It's a bet.
Yes, definitely.
It's a bet, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, or not quite well, and it's okay. It's okay, because I know I did the best I could, and I took a great experience from that, because I had huge networks of artists, and that's what started me. No, that's what helped me getting on the way to work really in the music industry, because the first tour I did was with Ghost, without the H, Ghost, the synthwave artist.
Yeah, the good Ghost.
And yeah, the good Ghost. and that's because we met and we worked together for this festival, and so he knew that I was like serious and really okay with working hard and stuff, and he was like, yeah, come with me on tour, and then I did that.
Which we will, which is, I definitely want to talk about for sure. But before that, I'm really interested in what the initial like landfall and spread of synthwave in Paris was like, because I know kind of like for a lot of I can't speak for general music fans, but for like creative-minded people like myself, synthwave like almost was an idea that everyone had at the same time. And like what if we took the soundtracks from like 80s movies and turned it into dance music, and it was all dark and stuff, and then Hotline Miami hit, and then everybody got to discover all these awesome bands. Was it different in Paris? Like was there more word of mouth? Did just these bands start popping up and playing gigs? Like what was your initial like exposure to that stuff?
For me, I was not living in Paris at that time, so I was living in Lyon, in the kind of south of France, and we had like a lot of gigs happening, because Carpenter Brut and Perturbator are from France, so that was easier for them at that time to play gigs in France, and so in Paris we had a lot actually of events about synthwave. Like several producers were putting together gigs with a lot of artists. Like Dance with the Dead came by like a few times. We had a lot of stuff going on, and that was actually cool. But sometimes it was a bit too much. Like, you know, I don't know. I remember a time where there were like 1 or 2 synthwave gigs a week, and that was not that good organization or not a good setup. And sometimes I felt like everything was in a rush, like it was the thing at that moment, the trend, and so everyone had to put on synthwave gigs, and I kind of stopped being interested in that. Like, I still dig all the artists I liked at that time, but I'm not curious anymore about what's going on or what.
It's hard to be interested in it, because it did become such a fad, and as with any fad, I blame it a lot on promoters, honestly, because they were so. Promoters, marketers, and then the kind of more unscrupulous artists who jumped on the bandwagon for whatever reason. Because there was this need to quantify everything as being from the 80s and being retro and stuff. So it took this new interesting art style and forced it into a box, and then people very aggressively defended that box.
Yeah, and also people started to do actually the same thing. Like, that was the same thing for almost everyone. Like, sometimes I was listening to different albums and like LPs and stuff, and I was like, did I change, or is it the same artist? That was not, and I was kind of sad because there were a lot of good stuff released, and it was kind of drowned into all this music. Like, it seems like easy to put on music and to release it to the world, and that's cool, because it's cool to see people being creative and stuff. But like with the Synthzilla, I had every day like maybe 10 different emails about, hey, I released that, do you want to listen to it, do you want a redeem code, do you want to watch my video? And I was like, please leave me alone, I don't have the time for that. And when you have artists who tries to do something different, a bit different, like a bit more cold wave or get inspiration into black metal. I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas right now. But they were kind of not insulted, but yeah, I don't know.
There
like were some reaction who were kind of violent against that. Oh, you changed. Oh, it's not the same thing. Oh, it's not their first album. Yeah, because people change. I don't know.
Yeah, they want
you're
they
not
want the
inspired
box
anymore.
They want it to fit into the box, and they get pissed off if it doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
and yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, the new Perturbator album is going to be a lot more cold wave that it was, because actually cold wave is a thing right now, and I'm really happy about that. But yeah, and a lot of people were kind of angsty about that, because it's not going to sound like the first albums. Yeah, because it's like a 6 years old album. Actually, people change and want to do and experience something else, and that's okay. So you don't have to just be stuck in what you liked. You can also grow on that. And I feel like synthwave didn't grow that much. I don't know. That's how I feel right now. And because I'm not too much into that anymore. Like I'm only listening to Placebo right now. Like it's been 3 weeks where I'm just listening to that. So I don't know.
It's crazy to think that Dangerous Days came out like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Like it feels like it came out yesterday. But here, because I'm super cool, of course, and I know what all the music genres mean, but the people who listening might not. So please explain for the audience, not for me, because I know what it means, of course, what cold wave is.
Oh my god. Cold wave? Oh no. Cold wave is like The Cure, but more goth. Is that okay to say that, or am I going to be arrested?
If you say anything about goth, you will be arrested. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
do not anger the goths. They will sack your walled city or whatever. That's what happened to Rome.
Oh no.
The Roman Empire posted a bad review of the latest Faderhead album, and that led to the fall of Rome or something. I don't know. So, Synthzilla 2.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun, but I remember. I'll tell you. I'll preface this with a story. Like that was my first proper gig playing as Surgery Head. And I was
that's true.
I was like really excited, but also terrified because I hadn't. It was only last October I figured out how to like play with live synths and live guitar stuff. So I was DJing from my fucking laptop. I did not expect it to be such a big venue. Like the venue we played in is like very similar to a place called
that was 500 people.
Yeah, it felt to be like a giant venue. It reminded me of like I know it wasn't. If I like go into my memories, I know that the O2 Arena in Ireland, which is like I don't know, like a 5,000 people venue, and where we played wasn't. They're not the same size, but they felt the same size, and I was like, oh my god. And France, it's where electro came from, and like, oh man. And I started playing, and midway through the first song, the audio cut out because my biggest fear was that my laptop would crash or something, and the audio cut out, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is my fault." It was so terrifying. But then that happened to everybody else throughout the entire festival.
That was an actual nightmare for me. Like
I know. I remember you were distraught. You were like, tell me what went wrong. How did that happen?
You know what? Even now, I don't know what happened because the venue told me that was the artist thought that for all of you, like you were 6 or 7 bands, I think, or artists if you want. But so all of you had bad gear. That was your fault. Then it was the electricity panel. I don't know why, but maybe that was that. Or it was like, that was everything and everyone's fault except the venue. But I'm kind of a Sherlock Holmes on my Sundays afternoon. And so I knew that 2 weeks before the festival, there were another electro festival, like, what was that? Like a cyber thing, I don't know. And they had the same issue. Like the same issue. So that was not my band. That was not my fault because I can't do that with my mind. But that was the venue. And they never apologized on anything. But I never paid them also.
Yeah, they
because I'm never going to pay you for that. Like you were
they
just
fucking didn't
horrible
deserve
with
it.
me.
Like Ghost didn't even finish his set because he was mid tour,
No,
and he was
yeah.
like,
Oh my
"Fuck
God.
this." Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only one who actually kind of played the whole set was El Huevo, because they had like acoustic gears and instruments, so that was kind of okay. But everyone who had a like full synthwave setup, everyone was fucked. Like definitely fucked.
It was a great
You can't
gig,
imagine
though,
the
like...
tears I had in my eyes.
I saw them.
The whole evening.
I saw the tears. It was you seemed crushed, but I'll tell you, it was awesome. Like seeing El Huervo playing live was great. It was great to meet El Huervo. I am always telling people this story that I met them and I was like, "You guys made Hotline Miami? Man, Hotline Miami 2 fucking sucked. It was way too hard." And they were like, "Yep, yes, it was. We're sorry."
Yeah, they are absolutely.
They were cool guys.
Amazing.
But so
yeah, really cool.
When that that's what happens when I drink a fridge full of beers.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize at all. So that went wrong, I can imagine you felt very discouraged after that. Were you kind of like, "This is it, I'm not doing this shit again"?
Yeah, and actually I lost a lot of money on that one too, because I like the first one I did a pretty popular lineup. Like everyone wanted to see Confident Brood at that time, or Perturbator at that time. Like this was like their thing. And then for the second one, I was like, I'm going to be like more indie, more I don't know, not bands we can see easily. Like that was the first time Daniel Deluxe played Dynatron. That was his first gigs too. All that stuff like was brand new, like exclusive to me.
Yeah.
And actually people didn't catch on that. And that's okay. That's like 100% okay. I'm not mad at that because it's a bet.
Yeah.
Again.
Now you see why promoters are always so desperate to like overmarket everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And I really thought that it would be something as big as the first one because that was the first Dynatron gig or the first Daniel Deluxe gig, and now I don't know what they're doing. And I saw that Daniel on tour with Dance with the Dead last year. He's super cute and fun. I love that guy.
He's great live. I really enjoyed his live set, and he's a very nice guy.
Oh, yeah, no, he's definitely something good. Like a really good guy. I really like him. But I don't know. Maybe I was too. I don't know. I tried something. It didn't work, and that's okay. And some people wanted to bought me the name of the Synthzilla and stuff after that, and I was like, no, no, you're not going to do that.
Nice.
Just left the thing where it is.
Let the Titan slumber.
Yeah.
So was it James's request that you come on for the tour that got you back in the game, or were you doing stuff before touring with Ghost?
Like what? Like music stuff or?
Yeah, like I assume so if this was a movie, right? Like the sort of failure of Synthzilla 2 would have you kind of like walking in the rain, and then a new opportunity would come up that gets you back in the game. What was that opportunity?
My opportunity was a burnout. I did a fucking burnout, like working in TV production, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to leave. And what am I going to do now? And so I wanted to take care of people because in the TV stuff, you don't take care of anyone or even yourself. So I was like, I want to take care of someone or someone's, I don't know, and I want to move out of Paris. I need to take some air. I need to do something with my body, with my hands. I need to talk to people. Like, I need to get out. And so I talked with James because we are friends and we are talking with each other like every time. Not every day because we're not living in the same
time zone.
But yeah, we're in contact like a lot. And so I was like, dude, do you want some help? It was like, I need someone to drive. Like, I can drive. Okay, I need someone to sell my shirts. I definitely can do that because I sold makeup to women and boys, so I don't care. I was like, okay, cool, come on. And then I did my first tour, like it was 1 month. After that,
Where was it?
Oh, it was in Europe. I only toured in Europe, like everywhere in Europe, even in Russia with a Carpe de Brut and Ghost. But no, just Europe. I never had the chance to go to Australia or the US, but I hope that maybe one day it will work for me on that.
Oh, so you're interested in getting back in the game sometime? I would have thought that.
Yeah. We can talk about my tool job after if you want.
Absolutely, I am very interested.
But yeah, I would love to tour with people I choose and I trust and I know that I'm really comfortable with. Like Dance with the Dead, actually. I think that was my last tour of like 2020. I finished this tour and then lockdown, definitely. And that was actually the best tour I ever had. Like,
do tell, because I was just about to say, right, I was going to preface this in my nerdy little list of notes. Is what I wanted to like start off with is that like I think we're obviously something I want to hit on is like how fucking difficult and shitty touring is, and like because I know a lot of young musicians really want to go touring, and it fucking sucks for many different reasons. But I'd love you to tell me about what the best experience you've had touring is, to preface all the negativity to come.
For me, the best tour is not to tour in nice hotels or have like a lot of people every night. That's cool because having people around and buying merch and being there, like, guarantee you to have a payment at the end of the tour, so you're not working your ass off for nothing. But for me, the best tour are the one where everyone is cool, respectful, where you feel like you are useful. You're doing something good for your band or for the audience, and that's what I actually experienced with Dance with the Dead. Like the guys are amazing. Their crew were amazing. I felt like a princess on that tour. And I was like, oh my God, a trash princess maybe, but still.
The best kind of princess.
Yeah, definitely the best kind. And yeah, and sometimes I went on tour with bands who had like maybe a bit more audience or money, and that was not that good. Like, definitely not. And that's
why
okay.
Is that? Because of the bigger crew, less of
I think maybe less recognition of the technician work.
Ego, huh?
Ego. But yeah. So I had great tour. I had really shitty tour, and that's okay because we're all people, you know. So sometimes you clicked with everyone. Sometimes it doesn't work, and sometimes I actually needed like 2 weeks to get on my feet after the tour because it was so exhausted or so hard sometimes, and I was so tired.
It must be strange traveling to all these places but not really getting to see them because it's go all the time.
Yeah. Like, so someone asked me, how was Moscow? I don't know. I don't know. I saw the red square at 1 a.m. for 5 minutes, and then I went back on the bus, and that's it. And I don't know. I've been to Oslo maybe 3 times. I never, I don't know this city. I never visited anything. Like, I don't know what it's like. That's it.
Yeah,
And
it's all just the infrastructure, right?
basically, the schedule on tour is you're driving to a place, you're doing your thing at the place, and then you're going to another venue. And mostly what you see on tour is a resting area on the road, and that's it. And that's fucking it. Or a bad hotel or stuff like that. But yeah, if you're lucky, you can go and have some time off. But usually your time off is to, go forward, to not have like 10 hours of driving after that, or just to take your time to sleep a bit on the morning. But that's it. You can't be around being like, oh, I'm going to go to this museum or to see that thing, or no.
I'd say nutrition is quite hard touring as well, and as well, like, people constantly wanting to party, because wherever you go, it's, all of the audience and all of the local people's, like, could be their first night in ages where they get to cut loose, and you're like, I've been doing this every single fucking night for the last week.
Yeah. Actually, touring make me stop drinking alcohol. Because I was like, I can't do that every night. Like, I can't be like that, or just to be sick in the morning and to have to drive 8 hours. Then no, it's too dangerous. And then I just felt shitty actually to just drink too much or smoke too much, and yeah, that was not okay. So I just stopped everything. But for when the audience or the promoters are there to party with you, they don't imagine that you're doing that every night and you have to work every night. And because for them, when the gig is finished, their work is finished. My work is finished when everyone is in their beds, and sometimes no one's going to bed. So how do I do?
So you don't really get to sleep. And there also needs to be a sober person around, like, because...
Of course. Oh my God, of course.
Something I've heard a lot about touring from some of my friends, some of our mutual friends, is how promoters will try and rob you. Will try and steal money. Will try and get you to play for free.
Yeah.
Will do all kinds of weird and fucked up stuff.
Or to take percentage of the merch, and that's not dealt at the beginning, or stuff like that. Or then you have to pay for your hotel, or you don't have any hotel, and you're like, where am I going to sleep now? That's not okay. That was not how we deal the thing. But it's not, for me, that was not common thing. We had sometimes issue with the promoters, but mostly everyone was kind of nice. They just wanted to party too much. And sometimes you have artists who tours a lot, so they know their limits. They know that they have to work on the next day, or we have a long road or stuff like that, and they know how to manage themselves. Oh my God!
I think the synthwave scene is largely full of sensible people. Like, I think most of the touring artists in the synthwave scene are they're older as well. Like, that you don't really get many like kids running around touring synthwave. Weirdly enough, because any kid with a computer can do it. But
but I learned that age doesn't mean anything, because I toured with a black metal band from Lithuania. They are young. They were younger than me, and really, absolutely perfect. Like, they were on time. They were not too drunk. They didn't took all the drugs they were handed with. And I toured with older dude. Oh my God, it was a nightmare. That was a fucking sludge band, and I toured again with them because I actually like them. Like, it's kind of hate and love situation. But like I had like blood puke on my feet because there were too many alcohol involved, and oh no, and thinking about other people's drugs every day, and I'm like, no, I'm not a fucking dealer. I'm not going to do that for you because I'm not paid enough. But yeah, so age doesn't count on that, because you can have people on their 40s completely on the loose for a party, and people like maybe younger, on 20, 25 years old, and really neat. They know how to work, they know when they have to work, they know when they can cut some slash to everyone, and that's okay. But yeah, you found that when you're on the road, actually. Like, surprise.
What would you say, like, what's some very, very important bits of knowledge that you've learned from working touring that you'd say to other people, and especially other like women and femme presenting people who are interested in getting in this line of work? What is some like choice wisdom that you wish you knew on your first tour? You know?
Oh, on my first tour, to say no. Like you can say no, not just to people, but you can say no to a bad payment at the end. You can say no to work schedule. I know it's kind of weird to say that, but you can say no to a party. You can say no to another drink. You have to, actually. You have to preserve yourself. And for my first tours, I was just throwing myself to help people. And at one point, I went home completely sick. And I was like, I need to change something. I need to not speak up for myself, because I do that. It's fine. I can like protect myself and defend myself. But if you want your tour to be successful as a technician, you have to have limits and to know where it's okay to say yes, to let people enjoy themselves. And you have to know where it's not fun or cool to do that. Like at some point with a band I was tour managing, I was like, no, we are not going to have people in the backstage, because I have all the money of the tour. We have all our computers and stuff, and I don't know those people. And it is not because they offered you a drink that it should be on this private space, which is our kind of home for the 3 hours left. So no, just, yeah, you have to say no. You have to say no to dudes. Like these dudes, because they don't know where the limits are, especially in the music industry. And yeah, and just to be confident. It's not because people are going to be like, oh, you're a woman, so you can't drive. Yeah, watch me like driving 12 fucking hours in a row, and do it, please. I would appreciate that. You know, like no one is like in the place to critique your work as a woman. That's it. Like they can't do better than you, and they will never do better. So just ignore that kind of person. I have a lot of rage in me.
Good.
So sorry.
Good. Rage is good. Rage is healthy in a world like this. That's for sure. As long as you know how to use it. And don't let it devour you from the inside out.
No.
So, you do seem like a person who who knows their limits, who knows when you need a change, and that last tour that we won't go into much detail about. Like you can say as much as you feel comfortable saying about
Which one? The good one or the really bad one I told you about?
The really bad one that made you
yes!
quit. If
Oh
there's
my God, I'm
if there's
so
another
excited for this
if
one.
there's another good one, I'd love to hear about it. But yeah, I'm really interested.
There were a lot of good, like for real. Like I went on tour with punk bands called the Coat Hangers, and it was, oh my God, it was an all-female crew. My fucking dream. That
Awesome.
was amazing. They were so cool. Those ladies were so much fun and so nice, and that was like my second favorite tour. I have a lot of good experience. That's okay.
Let me just type this in. The Coat Hangers
this
Band.
Really bad one.
To listen to this later.
Coat Hangers.
Coat Hangers Band. Punk. All right, that's cute up for me to listen to later. Yeah, tell us about the tour from hell that made you quit.
You know that I had some difficult tour, but I always stayed until the last day. Always. Like, for me, it was something. And this tour was the first one I left after 3 weeks on 5, because I was with the first act, really the opener of the opening act. Like, we were 3 bands, and I was working for the first one. And as a favor, the major band left us some places to stay in the tour bus, so sleeping with them and stuff. And then I knew that band. I'm not going to tell the name, so that's not something because I'm on NDA anyway, so that's it. But I knew them, I knew their reputation, but the promoters and managers promised me that everything will be okay, like really okay. And it was like a fucking hellfest because there were a lot of misogyny, of racism, of homophobia. Like, there were some violence too. I was not comfortable being there. Like, at some point I was scared of being, who am I, like I was going to say women, but I don't know. But the person I am, like a queer person, presenting as women, and and they were into fascist stuff, and at one point I was like, I'm not paid enough to endure that, like for real. And I'm not like driving by money, but if I have to suffer for that, please make it worth. Because it was not. I was actually losing money on that tour, where I should have been working with other great bands. But I was doing a favor to a friend of being there and being there for him and to work for him. And I don't regret that, because I knew at that moment that I was there for him and to help him, to help his band and stuff like that. But no, there was some stuff where, as a human, like as someone with actual feelings and ideals and thoughts, that was not okay. Like, really not. And I cannot say, like, I couldn't say anything to them, because I was no one for them. Like, no one. Not everyone was horrible. I have to say that. Like, they were absolutely lovely person, which I had a great time with. But at one point, I was like, I'm crying every night on my bunk. I'm scared every morning to find out what happened last night. And I just can't be around fucking fascists all day.
There is certain things. I've said this a few times about a few things that I've experienced or other people have experienced. There's a line, right? There's a line. You can walk past so many homeless people in your life. You can walk past so many situations in your life. But every now and again, you come across something where if you let it happen, you become a bad person.
Yeah.
And like taking care of fascists throughout an entire tour is one of those things.
Yeah, and endured what the audience were saying, because, like, in France, they thought that I was not French, so they were saying stuff at my face, and I was like, I just want to fucking rip your eyes off, you know, because I was so angry to have to listen to that kind of hate speech, and that was it seems okay for everyone, and yeah, I kind of dissociated at one point, like, this is not happening, like, this is not where I want to be, this is not the person I want to be. Also, I don't want to work with those person. And the band I was working with was conscious about that, and we talked about it a lot. And at one point, they didn't have the choice. They couldn't leave the tour. They couldn't. That even if they wanted to at one point, or if they wanted to change some stuff for them, they were trapped into that. I was not, because I just could say, like, okay, I'm leaving, and that's actually what I did. And
good.
Oh yeah, oh my god, I was so relieved the day I was leaving. So we were playing in France in the festival, and there were this band I'm used to work with. They was there too, and so I asked their tour manager, who is a friend of mine, that if I could, like, came back to Paris with them. It was like, yeah, please. Yeah, you're free to jump on the van and just go home with us. And I just feel relief. I was sad to leave the band I was working with, but they understood my position. They understood that I couldn't take it anymore, and that was destroying me, because I was living every day, every hour of a day in a hate bubble, you know? And if it wasn't what I was hearing from the other band, it was the audience, or it was the promoter, or no. And yeah, at one point I was like, I have to be true to myself. Who am I really? What am I thinking really? And what do I want to inspire to people? Do I want to be this person who stayed 5 weeks with this huge band and didn't say anything? Or do I want to be the one who didn't stay? Do I want to be the one who left because I was true to myself? Yes. I'd rather quit something because I'm uncomfortable with, and I'm really pissed off every day, and I'm crying every day, and so I'm going to save myself from that, than just go home after 5 weeks and no money in my pocket and just fucking burn out, you know. Not again.
Damn right.
So,
I mean, there's only two things that are morally acceptable to do in the company of fascists, and that's to get as far the fuck away as possible, or to kill every single last one of them. And you can't do that as just one person.
No, I can't. And
unfortunately, if in today's society, if you decide to take the job of take the fight to the fascists, that's the end of your life. You're either going to die or you're going to get arrested.
Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of my political decision. Like, I'm not going to do that, and I'm never going to do that again. And I don't care if you're a big band with a big audience and money and stuff. I don't fucking care. I'm just going to do what I think is best.
I feel sorry for your friend's
not
band.
Fascism.
I feel sorry for your friend's band because, you know, being bound to a contract.
I was sorry for them too.
Like,
yeah,
I can't wait for the music industry to just fucking die, so musicians no longer have to get trapped into these fucking contracts. Yeah. And people are now, the NFT people are coming in, and the blockchain people, and they're trying to tell us that that's what's going to liberate musicians. It fucking isn't.
Yeah, no.
You just got to do it yourself and make friends and, like, network.
Yeah.
Earnestly.
But I stayed in contact with my band during the last 2 weeks of this tour to be sure they were okay and stuff. and I saw them after my last tour to just talk about that and to see each other in a space more peaceful, more fun, and that was okay. And we're still good friends now. So this thing actually put up closer to each other than it divides us, because they understood that why I was leaving, and I understood why they were staying, and I was sorry for them. But at one point, as I said earlier, you have to say no, and I was not going to stay in that environment, because no, I don't deserve that. Like, I'm trying to be a good person, and for me that was not a good choice. That was a mistake from me, because I wanted to help my friend and to work with my friend, despite of going on tour with other bands I didn't know. Like, I knew their music, but I didn't know them, and I was like, I don't know, maybe it's kind of risky. Maybe I should go with the ones I'm used to work with. And yeah, just sometimes you make bad choice, but you have to just stand up on that and move on, and that's okay. And after that, I had pretty good tours, so it kind of left my mood a bit, because it's just one tour, just 3 weeks on the 3 years of touring, so it's okay.
So this has all led to I've had you here for almost an hour. You can if you wanna get on with your day and hang up now, we can come back and talk about this next thing some other date. But
Okay.
you have if you have time, I'd be happy to talk a little bit about this.
I do.
You excellent. You have pivoted your career to a completely different thing, which is a very interesting career path. Which involves, instead of taking care of the living, you are now taking care of the dead.
Yes, because they're silent. They're silent. Fuck. That's the greatest thing. No. So, as everything with me, it has a backstory. Like the Synthzilla, born of boredom. The Mortician thing came out of a teenage dream. When I was a teenager, I wanted to be an embalmer. I don't know why. Maybe that was a 6 feet under thing, or maybe I was like, oh, I'm so goth, I'm so edgy, I want to work with dead people, and my parents were not okay with that, because it's disgusting, or I don't know. We are still not okay with that choice I made. Me and them, but that's fine. I'm like 30 now, so I can do what I want. But I've always been interested in death, like my own death, my relationship with death, all the culture about death. Like, if you have a weird museum to show me, I'll follow you blindly. If there is a crypt or catacombs, I'll go there, definitely. If there's skeletons, I'm here. Yeah, so I have this kind of a dark passenger in me, you know? I think I'm possessed sometimes by those things. But yeah, this is really a subject I'm really fond of, since I think... I don't know, like maybe since I'm 12.
What is it about it that's so interesting to you? Is it the loss of life? Is it the mystery of what may come next? Is it just the general biological processes? Is it just the aesthetic of bones and rot?
I love the aesthetics of death. That's my thing. No, I'm really interested in the biology stuff going on with the body. Like, it's fascinating. And now that I'm actually working with it, every time I'm like, oh wow, what happened to you? No, I'm really digging all the history of death and how we deal with that, since like the first day of humanity. I don't know, but this is something I don't know if it's. Oh, I'm losing my words right now because death is so complicated. But I never endured a major loss. That's the thing. But I think there's something absolutely beautiful about taking care of your dead, like the deceased of the others, because if we don't do it, who is going to do it? Like, who is going to help the living going through their grief? Like, this is a place which I found really beautiful and meaningful, to be able to help people with their grief and their loss.
I never thought about that. So do you interact with the people in mourning much during this job? You're not just interfacing with the corpses?
Not me. Not me. But I know that what I'm doing is going to be important for them, because I'm actually preparing their deceased to be seen, to be to have their last farewell, if you want. So
of course,
it's the last image they're going to have, and that's my work. So it's really, really important for me to do like something amazing for them. It's, you know, when I said that I wanted to take care of people at one point, I was like, yeah, I want to take care of living people. But as a future embalmer, I do embalm people right now, but in France we have like really specific actions to be officially an embalmer. It's really difficult, actually. And I'm taking care of the living by taking care of their dead.
Right.
And so, yeah, for me, it's kind of giving them something powerful and meaningful. I don't know.
And it's a next level of dignity for the dead, because, I mean, even the living don't get treated with dignity. Like, people do not get the care, especially, like, you know, vulnerable people, neurodivergent people, and disabled people. Like, the fact that there is an area of society dedicated to, you know, treating the dead with dignity is, it's kind of like a bulwark against the complete dehumanization of society in a way.
Yeah. And maybe I'm weird, but I'm actually talking to the deceased I'm working with. Like, it's, I'm not just alone with them. I'm not into like, they're with me in the room and stuff. No, their body are here. And it's comforting for me to talk to them. Like, I'm not talking about my life and stuff. I'm just like commenting on stuff like, oh, you have like a beautiful dress today, or oh, this lipstick is going to be like bomb on you. And that's it, you know. But it's kind of comforting.
That's nice.
And
it's very cheery.
Yeah, and you know, it's actually really sometimes when I'm doing what I do, I have this moment of step back and like, what am I fucking doing right now? Like, where did I put my hands right now? That's so weird. That's not normal, or it's not natural, because as a human, we have a tendency, to flee what's dead. Like, no, not that thing here. And I'm like, just embracing this life. Of them, of course, but
they are like the corpse is an object with story. Like, if you look at it as a semi-animist sense, like I'm an animist. I think everything is alive in one sense, but it's alive with it's alive with narrative. Like, I think a materialist and an animist can meet there. That what you're talking to there is a literal lifetime of memories, and multiple lifetimes because of all the people they've met. So you are paying homage to the story contained within and around that object that once was a person, and treating it with the respect it deserves. So that I don't think that's bizarre at all. I think that's very human. It's very healthy. It's very psychologically healthy to treat things with the respect they deserve as, you know, objects in time.
I consider them as human anyway. It's not just a dead sack of meat for
Yeah.
me. It will never be, because if one day I think like that, I will have to step out of this, because it means that I lost my sensibility or my appreciation of the work I'm doing. And for now, I want to cultivate this sensibility.
Yes.
Because, yeah, as I say, it's meaningful for the families or the loved ones. So if I'm losing that, I will not be able to do my work beautifully for them. And also, it's kind of helping me not bringing them home with me, because sometimes it's not beautiful what I'm saying. Like, maybe at the end they are nice, but first it's not good. It's not good. And that's okay, because it's a body with illness, with I don't know, accident or stuff like that, and that it happens. It's okay. It's the course of life. I don't know.
When it arrives, it's pure entropy at that point. It's everything that failed. It's everything that fell apart.
Yeah, and for me, sometimes it's not harsh, because I never had the case of a body who will shock me. Like, I never saw something who actually triggered me for now. But it could happen, and one day it will happen. It's okay. And so talking to them, or being really careful with what I'm doing, or when I put on the clothes, or the makeup, or doing the hair, like, for me, it's really a caring job, like, for real. And that's what I like about that. Like, for everything about, I'm losing my words. I'm not like, I'm talking about the dead, so I'm going to cry.
But this is something that you sit with, like, alone. That is a wordless process.
You are
so
alone.
it's hard to. It's hard. It's like talking about making music. It's like something you do alone with your hands. You don't do it. You don't talk about it while you're doing it.
Yeah, and with people who are not working in the funeral industry, sometimes it's hard to say what you're doing, because people don't want to hear that, and that's perfectly normal, because we don't have the same relationship with our own mortality or our own griefs and stuff like that. So when I'm coming in a room and be like, oh, you know what I did today? Oh my God, there was this and that. And no, sometimes it's not cool for other people to hear my story, and I'm okay with that. But you're kind of alone on that too, if you don't have anyone who can listen to that kind of story, and not just the morbid curiosity of it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you did that. No, like, sometimes it's really hard, and even the whole process is not that. It's not glamour. It's not.
I was going to ask. When like we've been talking about the kind of, like, almost spiritual significance of it, but I am quite interested in the kind of, like, macabre, like mechanical process of what is actually involved in embalming. Like, if you wouldn't mind going through the process.
Oh no, it's okay. So I know the words in French, so I'm going to try to explain that in English.
Okay.
Like, sorry.
Take your time.
It's going to be like an easy way to put that in. So basically, when you're dead, all the bacteria are going loose on your body, because you don't have your white cells to fight them. So it's kind of a party of bacteria on your body. So the principle of embalming is to remove all the liquid of the body, like the blood, urine, pleural liquid, like what you can have in your lungs, and to remove that with a form. I don't know if this word is okay. The formal, the embalming fluid.
Okay.
It was going to preserve all the tissue to rehydrate them or to fix them a bit. You're not making people into mummy or stuff like that. It's just for a few days for the family to come pay their visits and stuff. So it's not like it's going to move at one point. Bacteria always win. You have to remind that. They're always going to win against you. That's
you're
just
not
the law
turning people
of nature.
into plastic waste or anything like
No. So basically you remove all those liquids who can be like very full of bacteria and other stuff, and you're doing some manipulation to avoid some leaking and stuff. Like you're kind of containing the body, if you want. And you're doing all the cosmetics, like to hide some bruises or cuts, or to rehydrate the skin, stuff like that. It's really giving a full look of person who's asleep, who's calm, really serene, something like that. So it's a whole process involving cutting and stuff.
Is the serene expression on the corpse's face not the natural expression? Do you get them like slack-jawed or like in different expressions and stuff?
They all have a whole open mouth every time. Yeah, like a banshee, Like,
wow.
They like a ghost. Sometimes it's kind of wow. Whoa, what happened here? And you have a lot of colors. It's a full palette sometimes, and a lot of fruits and a lot of stuff. And but yeah, the whole principle is like to remove those liquids to avoid bacteria and to inject an embalming fluids to help the muscles and the skin stay on for a few days if you can.
That's interesting. I had no idea that it was that it was only a matter of like a couple of days window before it started fading away. That's interesting.
It really depends on the concentration of the fluids and what kind of fluids you're working with. But for me, for what I do, it's never for a long period of time.
Right.
Yeah.
And I assume that if the body is like completely mangled, then they just have a closed casket funeral.
Oh, sometimes people ask you to reconstruct. I'm not able to do that. I didn't learn how to do that. I would love to, because I think it's absolutely amazing what can be done for those kind of case. But yeah, sometimes people just choose to have a closed caskets, and that's it.
Huh. Well, yeah. I think that's really interesting. Thank you for telling me about that. That I didn't expect I knew like being a mortician would be like interesting, but I didn't expect it like the philosophical aspect of it to be so interesting as well. Like I was getting quite emotional listening to you talking about that.
Oh.
But I will
I was too.
Good. I will let you go now. Let you free into the setting sun. But for that, I just want to say that like if that happens, if you're in this job and you find yourself no longer able to like humanize these things, don't beat yourself up about it. It's probably just you know yourself. You get burnt out, and maybe when that happens, it's time to go working amongst the living again.
Yeah, I think so.
And go ahead.
No, for now, I'm really happy about what I do. Like I fought really hard to have the first exam in France, because it's a big theoretical exam first, and we're just like 60 person who can now do the practical exam. Like I'm an intern right now, if you want.
Oh.
I have like someone who's teaching me and showing me and let me do stuff, a lot of stuff. Like I'm all by myself in front of the corpse.
Huh.
And so we're just 60 per year to be able to try and practice and hope to have the last part of the exam. So for now, I'm really like relieved because I did that, and I didn't had any knowing in science or anatomy or stuff like that. I learned everything in 6 months, and I managed to have this exam. And now I'm like doing stuff I learned, and I'm good at it. Like that's kind of weird. Like I can do that, and I'm doing that really well for now. So
awesome.
What's happening? I feel like I found my path. Even if I'm not going into spiritual thing, you know.
Yeah.
But I kind of find myself in that. Like I'm happy when I'm doing it. I'm happy with my results. I'm happy with the compliments I'm receiving for what I do, and I really feel like I fit, you know. And it's the first time in my life where I fit in a job.
It's a very rare thing. It's a very rare thing these days.
Yeah. And people just accept me with all the thing I am, and that's neat. Like I'm really happy right now. So I really hope that I'm not going to lose that, and I'm not going to be overwhelmed with all the dead bodies. But for now, it's an actual pleasure.
That is the problem that comes with fitting and making things work. Like I've been in a pretty good job for a few years. The anxiety.
Yeah.
Like you get past the depressive point. I'm not saying that you can still suffer from depression and shit, but like you get past that like depressive mire in your life, and you get somewhere good, and then the anxiety comes. What if I lose it? You know, what if I fail? What if it all falls away? But like, just you learn to deal with it. You learn to deal with it, and you learn to enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much for coming on my podcast. I can't wait to upload this episode. I think people are going to really going to love it.
Oh my god!
And it's so great to get to talk to you, because we haven't like when we met in like Synthzilla, we like said a couple of sentences.